everybody from Waverley Park as we continue the first round in the Coca-Cola AFL Lightning Premiership. A check of last night's results. North Melbourne in sudden death over Melbourne by a point. Collingwood beat Fitzroy comfortably. St Kilda were most impressive. Stuart Lowe kicked 6 goals and they beat Hawthorn by 5. And Brisbane beat Carlton by 14 points. It set up the first of our 2 quarterfinals. Later tonight these will be played. North Melbourne against Collingwood, St Kilda and Brisbane. Now today, live around Australia on the 7 Network, West Coast Richmond first up, followed by Adelaide Fremantle, Geelong and Essendon, and then Sydney and Footscray. Good morning to Don Scott. Did you enjoy it last night?
Yes, Bruce, pretty about the weather, but that's Melbourne, isn't it?
We've had 55 millimetres out here at Waverley since Thursday, but the good news today is it is dry and I think the ground's in very good condition. A lot of notable umpiring changes and interpretations, and they were highlighted in some key incidents last night, Don. The first one with young Farmer trying a tactic on Allison.
Yes, well, the ball just happened to go over the line there, but it's the last man who touches the ball before it goes over the boundary line. The free kick is awarded against him, but the umpire made a mistake there. But anyway, that's football.
What about Paxman, who had a dilemma last night playing for Fitzroy?
Well, he's not allowed to push the ball through the scoring and the goals or the points, otherwise it results in 3 points. But what he did, over the boundary line, from there the opposition take the ball, but then they cannot have a direct shot for goal. They've got to pass it to a teammate who then can score.
There were very few boundary throw-ins last night.
Yes, but this one here, Bruce, where the umpire is in 2 minds as to who actually did punch or touch the ball last before it goes over the boundary line, the umpires then throw the ball in.
I think everybody was waiting for our first 3-pointer. We had to wait a fair while. Half-time in the 3rd game, it came with this kick from Robert Harvey.
And here he is, Robert lining up. And as you can see, ball in flight, hits the post. The umpire signals that it hit the post. 2 hands are raised. And then wait for it. The red flag.
It'll be a good trivia question, won't it? Who did kick that first poster to get 3 points? The lineups look strong for our first match. West Coast, a sprinkling of new players, but some experience too.
Yes, they've made 7 changes, Bruce, in that side. 7 new fellows in that side I haven't seen before. Number 5, Andy Lovell, formerly of Melbourne. 33, Philip Matera. He's got some well-known brothers, hasn't he, Philip? Shane Sikora, 34. Ben Cousins, son of Brian Cousins, who I played against at Geelong. Luke True is 38, Chad Morrison 42, and Neil Marshall from Claremont 43.
As we see Andy Lovell and the West Coast players out there.
Doesn't he? We always remark on how they do look different in New Guernsey.
And from Richmond's point of view, again, a sprinkling of well-known players and some new ones.
Yes, Bruce, and 11 changes to this side, or 11 fellows that haven't made their debut in the senior side. 5 are interchanged. In the back pocket, we've got Ross Funk from Ballarat. Ben Harrison, full-back from Carlton. On the wing, Robert Powell from North Heidelberg. At centre-half forward for Richmond, Wayne Thornborough, who was at St Kilda. Ben Moore in the forward pocket from Glenelg. And Ben Holland, brother of Nick Holland, as at full forward for Richmond.
And learning the numbers on this chilly Saturday morning, Dennis Cometti, good morning to you.
Trying to, Bruce, trying to. Good morning to you. Yes, very early in Perth. I'd be watching this, though, with interest. The West Coast Eagles trying to regroup after a disappointing season last year. Jason Ball on screen. Very cold, unseasonal weather, certainly, for the players from the West. And I gather for the local players as well. Very hot here, back on Wednesday. In the mid-30s, there's Wayne Campbell coming off a great year. Kevin Bartlett is with me. Good morning, Kev.
Good morning, Dennis. And I can remember watching the Tigers beat the West Coast Eagles out at Princes Park last year, which was probably a watershed game for the Tigers when, from that point on, they went from strength to strength. That was sort of the litmus test for them.
Yes, under a new coach, remarkable happenings at the end of last season.
Outstanding.
There's Brett Hetty. John Northey, seen in action last night with the Brisbane Bears. And, of course, Robert Walls in charge of Richmond today. Adelaide playing in the next game. They play Fremantle. 6 players for 2 very short halves. Interesting. And senior umpire Gavin Dore joins us now. Gavin had 2 games last night, the first 2. Good morning, Gav.
Hi, Dennis. How are you?
Not bad. How are you after last night?
It was a bit cold last night, but I feel much warmer up here.
What about those new rules? How did you find them?
Not too bad. We had a discussion before the game where we thought, look, 95% of the game hasn't changed, so let's just work what we know what to do. But yeah, you had to make a bit of a conscious effort to think about different things.
What was the easiest and what was the toughest?
Well, the easiest was probably the out of bounds because we let the boundary umpire make those decisions.
I'll pass the buck, yes.
Yep, but the hardest was definitely when the player has the ball, has a prior opportunity to dispose, gets tackled, and in the wet conditions last night, if the ball just slipped out, it would have been holding the ball. So that was one thing we had to concentrate on.
What about those instinctive things when you go down to give the all clear perhaps to the goal umpire and the ball suddenly is behind you?
Yeah, it was a bit scary. I must admit the first 2 all clears I gave for a point, I was still way down there to make sure which goal umpire I had to tell all clear to. And next thing the ball was way out, so I had to make a lot of dashes.
No call on abusive language last night. The one I heard was an umpire actually tossing the ball up. I think it was in game 4 and it slipped off his hand. He should have penalised himself 50. But no problems?
No, it was very good actually. I don't think the game's long enough for the players to get upset with us, so it was quite good last night.
Okay, well feel free to jump in whenever you want to.
Yep.
In fact, we'd like that. Cloudy showers, gusty winds, currently 16 degrees, so warmer than last night. It was very cold out here at Waverley. So we're set to go. As I mentioned, the winner goes on to play the winner of the next game, Adelaide against Fremantle. Later today, Geelong, Essendon, Sydney, Footscray. So game 5, opening the second day of this Coca-Cola Lightning Carnival, and away we go. Charles wins it down. Lyle's hand pass not particularly good. Symmons off the ground down towards half forward. A chance now for McKenna, who got it from Blurton, slaps it across to Dunstan. He's forward of half back and he kicks it out towards the wing and will concede a free kick. Ball stewards quickly into play.
Dennis blowing to the left of screen.
That's the wind on.
Yes.
Down towards the wing, Thornborough was there, fisted away by McKenna. Awkward bounce for Downsborough. Over the ball is Campbell, didn't have it. Schofield in on him, and we'll have a bounce alongside the centre square. So overcast day, but conditions not too bad, although only a few minutes ago it was raining. McKenna smothered off the boot. Naish goes in. McKenna's over the top of it. Sullivan grabs him, and we'll have a bounce.
And Guy McKenna, one of the stalwarts of the West Coast Eagles side, been a marvellous player. Peter Sumich and Jason Ball, 2 big names lining up on the interchange bench for the Eagles today, as we see on hands and knees down there Michael Dunstan. His first year last year with the Eagles after having a go at Fitzroy. So the Eagles bring the ball away on centre wing position. Jason Heatley is lined up at full forward for the Eagles, with Sumich sitting on the interchange bench. Justin Charles. We see Philip Matera there. Peter Matera's brother over the top. A bit of a look-alike, Dom.
Yes, Wally looks like the oddball out, doesn't he? Wally was the first of the Materas to play for West Coast. He was a rover, went across to Fitzroy. Gutsy little player was Wally.
So Dunstan gets back where we see we see Prescott takes the ball there for the Tigers under a lot of pressure across centre half back, and we see Wayne Campbell there just remonstrating a touch, and the free kick goes to young Sikora, a boy drafted up from the under 18. So the Tigers defending across half back with young Ross Funk having his first kick in league football.
This is Moore on the outer side, couldn't control it. Lyle did nicely. Sikora comes away. Boots inside the 50. Heatley was up, off his fingertips, down in front, a chance for Matera. Funk heads for the boundary line. Matera couldn't control it. Well done by Cousins. Down goes Ht. If it wasn't a push in the back, it's against Ht. Now, play on called across the boundary line. No problems there, Gavin?
No, that was fine. He went directly into play.
Sikora's got it. Got to break you down, Gav. There goes the kick towards the kickoff line. Good mark is held down there by Heatley. Terrific grab, going back against the pack there, coming in on the angled approach. Now a man who's trying to consolidate in this team. Just the odd game here and there.
I'd just like to ask Gavin, what about in this situation there, Gavin? You said the 2 players prior to the mark being taken. What's the umpire's ruling in that situation?
Well, we certainly want to be observing that. Just in that case there, I think it was just man on man. They sort of pushed each other. But definitely if there's a shepherd there, we'd have to pay for a kick.
Not the hold?
If the umpire sees a hold, he would definitely pay it. I think in that case, John Harvey hasn't seen a hold, so he's let it go.
Heatley kicks it behind. That's disappointing. Kick in. Lyle knocked it down, and a free kick is going to Dunstan. He was held without it, or taken high as the indication. So Dunstan, former South Fremantle and Fitzroy player, well, he's back at South now, from inside the 50, bends it back, not a bad attempt, just misses, and misses the post, which is worth 3, of course.
Wayne Campbell, who was favourite for the Brownlow medal last year, but dipped out. but had a marvellous year. As we see Philip Matera's kick's been smothered. And the Tigers with Ashley Prescott intercepted. Magnificent interception there. That was once more by young Sakura. The ball goes to Schofield. Here's a long snap at goals. And just the one behind. And straight away the Tigers bring the ball back in. Loose man with Wigney on the member side. Just didn't bounce up. Still a bit soft out here at Waverley. Gets the ball across where we see Daffy. Just can't take the ball, but last one to touch it. So Dunstan grabs it for the Eagles. So it's rebound football here at VFL Park in the Lightning Premiership. Matera nearly off the ground. Same attempt there by Ht. So a chance now for the Eagles, but the Tigers defend strongly across half back. But the free kick will go to Sakura once more, who's been pretty active, Don. Kid from the under-18s.
Yes, he's got a kick over his man on the mark, but prior to that, when the ball did come over the boundary line here, there was play on the player, didn't play over the man on the mark.
Ht looking for a kick. Broderick goes in on top of him and will have a bounce about 35 metres out. This is going to be very helpful for you, Gavin. In with us this afternoon. Prescott knocks it down. Still he goes. Dragged down eventually. Richmond try and work it forward. It comes to Naish from Broderick, who boots it towards midfield. Thornborough, the former Saint, low down, takes the mark to Daffy alongside the centre circle. Kicks inside the 50. Holland is down there. That's a good grab. Very good grab.
Very impressive, Dennis, the way he let out. He looks like his brother Nick too, doesn't he? But boy, that was impressive. The way he let out there reminded me of Richardson, who also plays up there, Matthew Richardson.
Against a quality player too, and Mitchell White doesn't concede too much. So Holland from just inside the 50. Good looking effort. It's a goal.
I think it's a good point you make too, Dennis. Significant who you beat when you actually do things in AFL football. Mitchell White is an outstanding defender. So we see Campbell takes the ball out of the centre. Tigers very strong midfield up towards the forward pocket, and we see Ben Holland once more. This time White applies the tackle. Thornborough, did he throw the ball back to Holland? This is goal number 2. No, he centres the ball. Great play, and Daffy takes the mark.
My word, that is excellent play, because from that position a lot of fellows would have had a shot for goal, especially when you're a youngster. You're under a lot of pressure, you put yourself under pressure. But look, he had composure and presence. Look, he looked at the goals and then spotted somebody out in the centre and went across. Well done.
So the Tigers have their second goal on the board by Nick Daffy. So young Cousins there got the ball across to Andy Lovell, but Duncan Callaway across half back, played for the Vicks last year, gets it out towards Daffy, did represent South Australia. So Metropolis to Symmons. Eagles trying to run the ball down towards Fraser Gehrig, who was an absolute star in the finals last year. Gets the ball back to Lyle. So here's a chance for the Eagles into the forward pocket. Wigney with a big punch away. Picked up by Schofield across the face of goals. And hits the point post, so it's out of bounds. So the resultant free kick will go to the Tigers.
Harrison alongside the behind post, pops it out wide. Charles, defensive side of half back, pinpoints it well. This is Wigney, hoping for an injury-free season. Comes to the middle, 1 of 2. Funk up from the back pocket. Well tripped over a teammate. Gives it away eventually to Powell. Powell's away on the outer side wing. Wants his left side. Kicks it towards half forward. Awkward half volley, but Holland did well. Thornborough, he's been busy as well.
It's Powell
back
again.
It comes to Powell. Thanks, Don. In goes White. Shovels it out. Blurton quickly. Across it comes to Sakura, who boots towards the wing, taken by Gehrig, wants to go. Fraser Gehrig down towards half forward. Schofield into space. A runner alongside. Will he use the big man Downsborough? Well, as a decoy, he'll come to the middle now, setting up Dunstan. Awkward hand pass. Now he's got problems. Goes back, taken by Cousins. Throws it on the left foot. Bit lucky there, but eventually it finds Lyle. Brayden Lyle right on the 50. Ht back towards the goal. Charles dropping back on him, so suddenly Ht thought about the lead forward. Some indecision. Eventually the kick to the square, not a particularly good option. It comes down in front. Lovell's got it, robbed of it. Schofield tries to knock it out brilliantly. Matera 25 metres out, snaps and kicks it behind. Good thinking that time though by Schofield.
See Peter Sumich on screen there, coming out of the dugout. Might be going to come back onto the ground. Campbell on the boundary line. Gets the ball back to Prescott. Gives the ball back to Powell, who's been busy in the last few moments. The Eagles still trying to come forward. Schofield goes short, finds Dunstan. Now, he was a goal kicker at Fitzroy. He didn't play a lot of games last year with the Eagles, but can kick a goal. But not on this occasion.
Breaking over here, not a point, down about, over here, down about.
Harrison to bring the ball back for the Tigers. Members side, Broderick, who was one of the great stars last year for the Tigers midfield, gets the ball back to Callaway. Scrappy kick to Schofield, who's been very, very busy. To Cousins, long bomb, he's kicked it. So a terrific goal for the West Coast Eagles, their first.
So the Tigers by 2 points midway through the term. Bounce back in the middle. Conditions pretty good for footy at the moment. Tawney confronted there by Lovell. Umpire wants it. Difficult situation for commentators with so many new players in these teams. What about umpires, Gavin? Do you like to know the players' Christian names? Is that tough with a lot of faces you don't recognise out there?
Absolutely, definitely, and it's really good if you do know their names, because I think they accept your decisions much better.
It's terrible playing when they say, come back on the mark, number 23.
That's right.
You've been playing for 6 years.
And it's always nice if players actually say you Gavin or something like that instead of the umpire or something else.
You Gavin.
You Gavin.
Is that 50? There goes the kick from Campbell down towards half forward. Big lead from Thornborough, socket off the ground by Naish. Now here's a chance for Moore, left it behind, socket away by Lovell. Coming up the ground is Neal. Awkward one for Thornborough, but he's played it pretty well. Gets it across to Powell, the left footer. His kicking has been disappointing so far. This is no exception towards the pocket. Holland, who's been impressive, was taken high. No free kick. Naish, brilliantly done. Hairier than last season. Now Tawney, well, missed it. Lyle, nicely done. Blurton, hard against the line. It ricochets off Moore, and eventually McKenna gets it to Spinks. Spinks comes up towards the middle. Schofield, he's been lively. Has a bounce, goes through the middle, kicks down towards half forward. That's ill-directed. Wigney goes back and takes the mark.
Major blow last year, Wigney, when he went out with injury for Richmond, really did play well across half-back.
Right there.
And he finds Broderick. He gets the play on call, so he comes back to his trusty left boot, kicks it out wide, looking for Daffy. Simon showing great pace. Daffy gets a kind bounce round the corner, but it's all Eagles and Andy Lovell.
Right there. Thank you. Thanks, Duncan.
Lost to the Demons, Andy Lovell. Kicks down to half forward line, and we see Fraser Gehrig, who would be the fastest big man playing, I'd say, Dennis. Gets it across to Lyle. Ooh. Tripped. Play on, he says, I'm playing the advantage back to Fraser Gehrig. He's got a chance over the top. It was a poor hand pass. Didn't hit its target for Dunstan. Good strong play by Harrison for the Tigers, number 20.
I want to talk to Gavin about playing on there. Lyle on the ground. Can you play the advantage in that situation, Gav?
Yeah, I can play the advantage any time. If the player's got the ball, let him go.
Guys on the ground, fair enough.
Robert Walls and his first stint as coach of the Tigers, and Kevin Morris there in the background as well. He's back up, former Tiger Premiership player, as Campbell down towards 50. The bounce favours ball. And maybe better to let that go that time by Wayne Campbell, and Tigers may have got the free kick, but
Gavin,
last person to touch it.
Sorry, Kevin. Have you got to kick in over the man on the mark, or can you play on in that situation?
He could play on, definitely. Yep.
From behind the mark.
From behind the mark.
Yes.
Okay.
But if there's no one on the mark, you can just
then
go.
play on.
Yes.
Metropolis goes to Blurton. Defensive 50 for the Eagles. Short to Schofield, who's had an outstanding opening term. Crossed the ball. Early in the season, players just not hitting their target. Ht comes out, he was held for mine, must take the free kick.
Good decision by the umpire. So Ht right half forward. Kicks inside the 50. Heatley got hands to it, couldn't hang on. White to Lovell, hoisted very high, all Tigers. And Prescott. That should be 50.
50 metres. Right out of it, right out of it.
Phillip looking very much like Peter.
Oh,
same mannerisms. Just
way he
slightly
runs.
shorter. Yep. Here's Prescott up towards the middle. Matera standing to mark. Oh, good mark by Daffy. That was an awkward one. It was coming with an odd spin and hard. He controlled it very well and had to turn around, opening himself up for the man coming from behind. Well done by Nick Daffy. Fine season last year. And the Tigers go on this year. Daffy, well, he spotted the goal square was empty. It was worth the roost. He went for distance. That was a massive kick.
It was a big kick. That's nearly 70 metres, Dennis.
He was on the breeze, but even so.
McKenna versus Campbell. McKenna this time wins out. Recovers well. Feeds off to Mitchell White. Cross half back. Tate should take the mark for the Tigers and does so in front of Ht. So gets the ball moving quickly. This is a better kick this time from Callaway.
Keep going, go back,
And he
go
finds
back,
more.
Wait there. Thank you.
Recruited from Glenelg.
Go out, Richmond, go
So
out.
young Ben Moore looking for a lead. Doesn't find it. And Schofield once more chips in and takes the mark. Gives it off to Waterman. Across to Metropolis. One stage looked like Metropolis was going to be a gun forward, Dennis, with that opening burst of 6 goals in his first game, but
Yeah, great debut, wasn't it?
now seems to be a defender for the Eagles.
Well,
Fraser Gehrig has the ball punched away. Young Cousins, scrappy kick. Bad bounce for Ht.
yes.
Kicks off the ground. Here's a chance for Heatley. Overruns the ball. Prescott, great pickup. Just didn't find Callaway. So the Tigers defence under a bit of pressure. Harrison picks up. Back to Wigney. So a bit of time now for Wigney to pick the best option, but he just kicks to a pack. And Lyle takes it for the Eagles.
Clock running down to half-time, 3.5 minutes to go. Lyle on the outer side. Richmond up by 3 points. This is ball, about 75 metres from goal, intended for Ht, wide of the target. Tate goes low down, takes the mark on his chest, deep in his own defensive area. Naish now, run down from behind brilliantly. Matera goes after the ball, and it's against the Richmond defender. So Matera
He had plenty of time to get rid of the ball. Is that right,
He had a
there,
prime
Gavin?
opportunity, and because he didn't handball or kick it, the ball just fell out. It's a free kick. Well done.
Harrison, number 20, under Heatley, so a bounce, or a throw-up more particularly. About 35 metres out from the Eagles' attacking goal. Can they get a late goal here? The breeze going right to left as we see it, so the Eagles will have it in the second half. Charles works his way in front, knocks it down. Well, it's missed there by Powell, and the shot goes wide. Was it from Symmons? I think it may have been. There he is, and behind. So the margin back to 2 points now. 13 plays 11. Harrison goes in short, well judged too. Prescott has it. The defensive side of half-back, setting Funk up around the outer side. Now he's away. Funk on the wing, kicks it down towards half-forward. Wide of Neal coming up on the lead. In front, paddled towards the boundary line by Waterman. Campbell defending the ball that time, earning himself a free kick. Don't like to see that though, players shepherding and blocking near the boundary. Or we saw Campbell drop a mark running with the flight of the ball before. Kevin made the point, would have been better to leave it, but again, you wonder whether that's desirable. Opportunity for Metropolis, spinning, crashing in was Moore, left it behind, then picked up by Ball.
And his kick is out wide. Chance for Prescott's been very good. Gets it back to Powell. New recruit for the Tigers. The Eagles keep forcing it forward on the edge of the centre square. Callaway, fantastic tackle by Callaway on Philip Matera. Tremendous tackler.
Come right out, right out.
There it is, Callaway. He's a real gun, isn't he? Look at that. Oh, just couldn't get away, Matera.
They'll be showing that at the Rugby League. Chance for the Eagles deep into that back pocket. Cousins finds Symmons. Pushed as he kicks the ball, so he'll take the free kick.
That's a relayed free kick.
In that case, it's because he got pushed in the back as he kicked it. It's free kick and 50 metres.
50 metres.
And that's a new rule for this competition.
No, he's got to bring him back to 50.
Yep. So the same player takes the ball.
Why was that brought in, Gavin?
Because because too many professional free kicks were given away, and we always had to bring the ball back. So this is penalising the offending team.
Symmons, the cousin.
He looks a player, doesn't he?
He's been very, very good. Only 17 years of age.
Hal's the other one that impresses me on the wing. He's predominantly a left-foot kick, but if he could work on his right, he's got tremendous pace. He's a terrier for Richmond.
Heatley beaten that time. Chance for Blurton. Paddles the ball along. Looks wide. And Symmons.
And it's great to see these young fellows coming in and making their mark too. We see a lot of, the teams don't change very much from one season to another, but here we're getting the opportunity to see a lot of young fellows show their wares.
It's one of the advantages of the Lightning Premiership.
I think
to see players, against good opposition under match conditions.
And also good for umpires too.
Schofield, who has been one of the Eagles' best in this first term. Prescott has been absolutely outstanding defence, but that time Matera, who obviously is quick like his brother, ball comes to Heatley, and he's kicked a goal.
And that all came from a tackle. Matera had a terrific tackle laid on him by Callaway in the centre of the ground, and then he repaid Richmond by laying a tremendous tackle here. What's this? Bang, he's got him. And Prescott just a little small, a little slow, the turnover. And through it goes for the second goal to the Eagles.
Well, he only played one game last year, Dennis, Jason Heatley, and there was a lot of talk maybe they should have experimented a bit more with him at full forward when Sumich was out of form and maybe injured. He's kicked a lot of goals with Subiaco.
Yes, a heap of goals. He tends to be a sort of last resort though, doesn't he? He comes in when the team's not functioning and the forward line's going even worse. The ball out of bounds on the outer side. Powell was playing it along in front, almost half-time. Sakura has started very well. He's been quite impressive. Kicks down towards the half-forward line. And a clever mark is taken by Tate. Thought about going. Holds up across half-back. And we're down to the siren now. As Tate kicks from half-back. Thornborough busy at centre-half-forward. So half-time in our opening match on day 2. Bearing in mind the winner will play the winner of the game. Coming up next, Adelaide against Fremantle. That's game 6, the second of this session. To be followed by Geelong and Essendon and Sydney and Footscray. So half-time at Waverley, and the West Coast Eagles lead it by 4 points. It's 2-5 to 2-1.
And I thank you for 100 years.
Coming up next, the Adelaide Crows against the Fremantle Dockers. That should be interesting. Half-time at the present time, the West Coast Eagles in front by 4 points as we go down to Dipper on the boundary.
Thanks very much, Dennis. Compared to last night, this is a breeze. Boom, boom. But Mickey Malthouse was very happy with charges there. He did clap him in as he walked onto the ground. Obviously, they were using a lot of experience, chipping the ball into the wind and using the possession game, and obviously they're in front. And unfortunately for Richmond, the wind has picked up, and for the Eagles, they're looking good for this game because they're kicking with a maybe a 2 or 3 goal breeze here.
Dipper, I've got to say that Mick's got his critics, but I believe he treated you regally in the rooms before the game.
He certainly did, Mick. He actually invited me in and introduced me to 7 new players there, and it's a young Ben Cousins, only 17 years old, and this reminds me when I was a young lad myself.
Oh, terrific. We haven't got time for that, Dipper. From the start of the second half, and the quality of football so far has been pretty good. One would expect quite a few changes now, although looking down towards the interchange players for the Tigers, not too many interchanged as yet. 17.5 minutes, hardly time to get a sweat up. So an awkward one for the coaches as to what to do in terms of tossing their players about. Players I don't think would be too happy getting 8 to 10 minutes half the half and then coming off the ground. There's Robert Walls. As I said at the outset, remarkable the happenings at Punt Road in the off-season. Start of the second half then, and the Eagles will go with the breeze. Dennis Cometti, Kevin Bartlett, Don Scott, and senior umpire Gavin Dore here at Waverley. Bauer gets a hurried kick. Oh, gutsy mark going with the flight of the ball by Chris Naish. Metropolis collided with him. Now it's going to be 50. Well, that's interesting. Let's watch it again. Well, I don't think there was much Metropolis could do there.
I think in that case, the umpires deemed that he hasn't made any attempt to go for the ball at all and just gone straight for the man.
Was the umpire right, though, Gav?
Go down, Jack.
In his eyes, he is.
Yeah, okay, you're a guest. I'm sorry, it was an unfair question. Here's Naish, shaken from 40 metres out, kicks the goal. So an important decision.
It was.
That's just what the Tigers wanted, that goal into the breeze. And it's good to see Naish now up the ground working much better. He'd made his name as a forward pocket, a real goal sneak. But now he's up the ground and starting to use some of that skill and ball gathering ability that he has got. There he is, the former Wangaratta Rover player, Kevin.
Wangaratta.
Play on.
Yes, he's been just itching to get a bit more work up the ground. He has been labelled as a forward pocket player, but he has got terrific skills with his hands. A bit like Dale Waitman, and I think he'll relish if he can move a little bit further up the ground, Chrissy Naish. Tawney applies the tackle for the Tigers.
The ground in excellent condition. What's it like, Gavin, as a
It's fantastic. Even last night, even the rain, you know, I could have wore flats on it. It was just like a carpet. It's fantastic.
So the free kick given away that time by Thornborough goes to Downsborough. So the ball brought away by Blurton, where Matera couldn't take it. Tate happy to just tap the ball, but doesn't want to tap it over the line. Callaway with a high kick back. Has been marked by that's Moore, Ben Moore. Goes out to Naish with quick hands, opening it up with Wigney. Just didn't quite handle it. Over the top to Campbell. Campbell once more. You can see the early stages of the season. The touch not quite there. Callaway. Kick off the ground for the Tigers. Back to Daffy. Quick kick around the corner. In front, young Ben Holland. Couldn't take it on the half volley. McKenna, hands and knees. Played by Lovell, gets it back out to Fraser Geary. You can see the pace there of Geary. Takes a bounce. The kick's a poor one. Natural left footer, but Sumich on the ground. Great to see him back. Up to young True, come off the interchange bench. Prescott, outstanding for the Tigers in the first quarter. To Charles, back here to Funk. Back to Prescott as the Tigers run it out. But once more, the touch not quite there. Sikora for the Eagles to Matera. Back to Schofield. Star in the first term for the Eagles, but the Tigers do well as Daffy brings it away.
Daffy just forward of the wing, settles now, kicks it down towards the 50. White works his way in front, in from the side. McKenna angles the punch towards the boundary. Old habits die hard. Kneeled, knocked away by White. Holland, opportunity now. Gordon, slung. Holland, whooping hand pass, well played. Little fumble by Tawney. Kneeled picks it up and kicks a goal.
Coming soon, the biggest free event in the history of Victoria. The official opening of the magnificent new Melbourne Exhibition Centre on Clarendon. Victoria on show. Over 4 days, an exhibition hall twice the size of the MCG Oval will be filled with displays of all shapes and sizes. And the biggest exhibit is the interactive audio-visual spectacular, Victoria on the Move, showcasing Victoria's past, present and future. Come and participate, learn and have fun. Entry is free.
2 quick goals for the Tigers, one by Naish and one by Neil. Opens up an 8-point lead. So the Tigers coming forward with Michael Radis just on the ground. Broderick goes short. Thornborough couldn't take it. Waterman in hard. Lovell twisting, turning, caught high. The umpire plays advantage. I'm not quite certain if there was an advantage there, so he brings the ball back, Gavin.
Yeah, the West Coast actually had the ball and he played advantage because now we can actually bring the ball back, so he's done the right thing.
121 games with Melbourne, Andy Lovell. He was a goal kicker with 145. Should be good attribute for the side, for the Eagles. It's Callaway, caught. Wigney, a couple of times now, has sized up the situation, but the kick's been poor. Broderick, it's the ball back to Charles. So the Tigers looking the goods here in this second term, but McKenna strong across halfback.
Goes short. This is Lovell. He's a right half back, Andy Lovell. Close to the man on the mark. Kicks on the breeze down towards half forward. Up in front was Sumich, knocked down to the ground. Well done there by Ht to flick it out. In fact, he's been penalised, I think, for throwing it. And now 50. So, golden opportunity here for the West Coast Eagles. Yeah, no doubting that.
And Wigney just throws the ball down on the ground there, Gavin.
That's right. He once the free kick's paid, he must throw it back to the player. He just can't drop the ball.
Bownsborough's got the kick.
5 metres. Let it come out. Thanks, bud.
Kicked quite a few goals for West Perth last season. He's backing to get this one. Big raw-boned player. I think it's okay. It is.
Tigers by 2 points. Charles.
There's a real
for the Tigers.
Sorry, Kevin, a real opportunity for Charles this year at Richmond. He's built himself up. He's a mobile ruckman.
Ht looking for the lead, but well done by Waterman. Got his fist there. McKenna it was, and Waterman backed him up. And the Tigers just letting the ball go out. Daffy, 55 metres out, has to give the ball back to Neil. Kicked a goal this term, centres the ball. Punched away by Mitchell White, ground level. Broderick, quick snap. He's kicked it. The Tigers are hot.
It's a great possession winner, Paul Broderick. And very, very important player, especially up around midfield. He was a terrific player as far as possessions went when he was playing with Fitzroy across to Richmond. He was a very good player early for them last year. There he is, left footer, elementary.
A few of the players mentally rusty there as well. You must make Broderick kick it with his right foot, force him back on the right. A few players going to his left side as he was running away from goal. Now an opportunity for Blurton, nicely done. Kicks it wide, it spills towards the boundary line. Eagles need to keep it in. Downsborough feeds it back to Banfield. Banfield kicks towards half forward, well done by Spinks. Takes the low capture. Forward of the wing, told to play on. Thought about the hand pass, then elects to kick. Long kick too, it runs down towards full forward. Tape gets back, paddles it towards the line, keeps it in, well done. Harrison goes in, it came off him though, I think. No, it's going the other way, is it? Oh, that's an interesting one. Harrison's got it. Sumich thought it was his ball. It comes across to Tape. The umpire's not conferring, so they were sure. Ball dropped it. Sakura, about 60 metres out. The short one, True had to wait and did well. True just outside the 50, stubs the ground. That's unfortunate. Campbell missed it. Cousins, True left it behind, tries to knock it goal with Charles sitting down. About 3 goes at it. Ball goes in. Kept it going goalward initially. Campbell, brilliantly done. Got it across to Ht, who boots it towards the wing. Blurton, behind him is Holland. Blurton should have the speed here. Pulls away, kicks it back to half forward. Ht is up, 1-2, gathers the mark. Hit the ground running, pops it across to Prescott. He's at centre half back. Breaking for him into open space is Sullivan. Sullivan's got the ball on the outer side. Now he's away. One bounce. Running down to half forward. Good chase from Matera. Sullivan well inside the 50. Surely a push by Jerica and a free kick to Geary.
And the umpire in the right spot then, Gavin.
That's right, and he was watching the players instead of watching the ball, so which is very important for all umpires.
Jerica has just come on, replacing Thornborough. Very, very strong in one-on-one duels. So a chance for Dunstan to run onto the ball. Banfield should do the shepherding. He doesn't. Taken away by Tate.
Yeah, good free kick. The shepherder was getting held, so must get the free kick.
Yes, young Michael Raiders, who came on, he did the shepherding and Tigers got the ball. I think Banfield should have done the same thing, Donny, for the Eagles before. So we're seeing a lot of scrappy kicking. Lands in the arms of Ht, who's a beautiful kick down towards Neil, too far. Fraser Gehrig will have too much pace for Gehrig if he can handle the ball.
Oh,
great
well
play,
done.
Gehrig. I think he's going to be a superstar. And Blurton drops the chest mark, was under a bit of pressure, does well, gets it back to Sakura. Very impressive young player. Up to Spinks, gives it back to Dunstan. Being forced to go back towards the centre of the ground now under a lot of pressure. Great tackle by Naish. Blurton wins out to McKenna. He'll do something cool. Gets it across to Waterman. And the Eagles have the loose player out wide. So here's a chance. Is Neil Marshall. As he kicks long. The back of the pack. Sumich won't get there in time. So the Tigers will take the kick.
8 points the margin. Still plenty of time. Prescott comes away, running it up towards half back. Wide, Daffy's got the run of it. McKenna came to meet him. Brilliantly played by McKenna. Wouldn't see better in a grand final. He gets it to Heatley. Both the players wanted that one. It was suddenly a matter of pride between two senior players, and McKenna did best. So Heatley, watch this again. That's terrific. Few people here to appreciate it, but McKenna not giving an inch. So Heatley will kick from about 35 metres out. Just to pull it back to 2 points, and the kick is good.
Get ready for the most exciting football action ever. The Coca-Cola AFL Lightning Premiership. It's 3 days of full-paced action. It's 3 days of shortened games and radical rule changes. It's 3 days of entertainment. It's 3 days of the most excitement you'll have in years. The Coca-Cola AFL Lightning Premiership. February 9, 10 and 11 at Waverley Park. High voltage football.
The Eagles edge that bit closer, just 2 points in the game.
And Kevin just looking on the boundary line. Joel Bowden's warming up. And what number does he have?
Number 11, the same as his father Michael, and also Shaun Bowden, his other son.
And also I see that Nick Jewell is wearing his father's number, 39.
39, Tony Jewell, former Premiership player and Premiership coach for the Tigers.
They'd be very proud, wouldn't they, as fathers, to see their sons playing in the Guernsey.
Nick Jewell from Caulfield Grammar. They'll be pleased to see one of their old boys making it into the league ranks. Good play by Cousins, goes short, looking for Heatley, couldn't take it. Cousins follows up well, sign of a good player. Centres the ball, Sumich in front. Can he get back onto the left boot? Tunnel balled it back. Push there, maybe not played. Matera. Back to Spinks, round the corner, Prescott, terrific mark.
Just take that back a bit, Gavin. Sumich had hold of the Richmond player when he was going for ball. Now, what would you do in that situation?
I thought that was good umpiring because the play actually had control of the ball, and Sumich isn't really told to hang on to him. So I thought that was good umpiring.
Ball did well, got it across to Spinks, two big guns who I'm certain Mick Moldhouse hopes will take that really big step this year. Round the corner, quick snap. 1 point. So there's 1 point in the game. 5-1-31 the Tigers. The West Coast 4-6-30.
Campbell plays on. Awkward one for Harrison. Confronted on the outer side by Matera. Butters up again. Well done. Gets it to Daffy. Quickly on the boot. Lyle couldn't control it. Prescott, who makes no concessions, went in solidly. Kellaway at the base of that pack. Lyle over the top, and we'll have a ball up just inside the 50. So the game on the line now.
The intensity certainly lifted, Dennis.
Yep, certainly. In the last 5 minutes or so, it's been very good. Holland worked out of it by Ball, smothered off the boot. Close to the boundary line, kept in by Marshall. He pulls it back only as far as Harrison. Just over 7 minutes to go then. Still plenty of time in the context of the game. To Campbell. Bounces across the goal face. Wayne Campbell, one of the stars of the competition, kicks it out wide. Well-weighted kick too. In front, it's missed by Funk. Picked up by Sumich. Now Sakura, a chance to put the Eagles in front. Sakura's kick is missed. Scores level. Broderick off the ground. Bearing in mind the first game last night between North Melbourne and Melbourne went to sudden death. So
Joel Bowden on the ground. Broderick went off for the Tigers as Prescott Favours the members' side, and big Justin Charles comes out and takes the grab.
Got a lot of mobility. Just never got his opportunity at Footscray. Big fellows need exposure.
Let him go. Wait there.
Finds Kneeled. Former Cat, second year with the Tigers, and there's Joel Bowden. His father played in Richmond's 1969 Premiership side. Up to Jerica, slips catch, not paid. Mitchell White, hands and knees. Jerica taps the ball back, picked up by Metropolis. He's got a loose man in Blurton, so he can transfer the play out towards the outer side of the ground, and he finds Lyle. On half-back, the Eagles are kicking down towards the Wellington Road end at VFL Park, and young True, who started the opening term on the bench, takes it for the Eagles.
Kick towards the outer side.
Right. Let him up. Wait there.
And Kellaway has paid the mark.
Stay there.
Might have been Morrison kicking it out. Yeah, True on top of Kellaway there. As Kellaway kicks in towards the middle. Awkward half volley for Wigney. It runs on. Eventually punched forward by the Tigers, but Cousins, who's been most impressive, boots it back inside the 50. Getting a hand to it was Campbell. Forlornly finished up on the ground. Now Heatley for the lead. And they're in front, the West Coast Eagles. So a tough contract here for the Tigers, working up into the breeze. It's a pretty stiff one. Campbell to Daffy. They've got a chance here, though. Daffy, forward of half-back. Breaks now, has had a bounce. Kicks down towards half-forward. Charles is the target. Props in front. In from the side ball. Couldn't hang on. And the ball is locked in and will have a bounce.
Right over, run it, please.
There's Blurton, who's been impressive.
Right up. Right up quickly.
Young Holland going off Dennis, and Nick Jewell coming on for Richmond.
Naish off the ground, well inside the 50. Gehrig soccers it, knocked back the other way by Sullivan. Can the Tigers grab the lead? Not this time. Waterman boots it back towards midfield. Lyle, he's been very good, but he dropped the mark. Now on down the ground is Dunstan, and that's a very good kick if it sits for him. He'll run onto this ball. Generally it bounces on the second and third bounce. It did that time. Kicks down towards full forward. Prescott leads back in the race. He'll try and block here, but Matera gets by him. Prescott comes again. Matera keeps it alive. He's 40 metres out. It spills across to Spinks. Dragged down by Wigney. In comes Kellaway. Looping hand pass. Wigney, nicely done. Gets by Sumich. Back to Kellaway. Kellaway from half-back towards the wing. Holland, well, he was going off. He's back on now. Knocked away down there by Metropolis. Cousins just inside the field of play. Well picked up and booted forward down there for the Tigers by Raiders. On the wing, crashing through Naish. Gathered by Campbell. Campbell unloads. Goes inside the 50. Gehrig knocks it away from Jerica. Well done out of the pack there by Sullivan. Got it across to Daffy. Daffy's kick could bounce through. Kept alive down on the goal line by Gordon. Still it's Gordon in the pocket. Could have almost got a free kick. Dragged down by Blurton. Now Jerica close to the line with no help and will be penalised.
Good bump over the line, Don.
There's no justice, is there?
McKenna.
He's going to change direction. McKenna.
West Coast by a point.
Interesting move, isn't it?
He's indicated he wants to bring the ball back here. No, he's now changed his mind, which I think is a better decision, Don.
He had two options, Kevin, but they were right in front of the goals.
It's a high ball.
Yes.
Neil with a quick snap out of the pack. There's a good, strong mark. It's been taken by young Gordon.
Right out, nice, come out, 5 metres. Wayne, go out, all players.
Well, he did a good job keeping the ball in before. He's right on 50. It's a beautiful looking kick. He's kicked it.
Shaun Gordon started on interchange. It comes from Shepparton. And he's got a few teammates out here. They all played in the Murray under-18s in the under-18 competition. And that's an excellent kick. Just carrying.
Richmond by 5 points. Young Gordon with his first goal. Ball in the ruck. Taken by Sullivan. Dragged to the ground. Desperate now. Morrison. Quick kick out of the pack. Sumich comes through hard. Wigney. Caught by True. The Tigers defence standing up well. Tapped over. Good strong play by young Gordon once more. But this time it's been given against him. Mitchell White comes away from half back. Up towards the half-forward line. Member side here at Waverley Park. Daffy by himself. He's got a loose player. Gordon runs onto the ball. Couldn't take it on the half volley. And of course the free kick will go to Metropolis.
This is a good effort, Kevin, by Richmond, because they've got nearly all of their 11 new players on the field at the moment.
And into the breeze. Campbell from behind, giving quality leadership. Raiders is dragged down. It spills out of the pack. A throw is called, so the Eagles will get a free inside the last 2 minutes of this game. The West Coast Eagles kicking with the breeze, down by 5 points, so it should be a big finish. Sakura has been impressive, kicks towards the 50. Tape from behind gets high, knocks it down. Funk did nicely, gets it away to Naish. High floating kick back towards the wing. Metropolis should have punched. As a result, they've got problems. It's picked up down there by Bowden. The hand pass was smothered, but it deflects across to Gordon, who appeared to be pushed in the back. Naish grabs it. Awkward kick. It bounces down towards half forward. Coming up to bit of Charles, didn't have the ball, and Charles will get the free. So this is time consuming and good as far as the Tigers are concerned.
Playing a centre half forward now is Charles. Started off in the ruck. Thornborough was at centre half forward. Thornborough's off the ground. We've got young Holland doing the ruck work, Richmond. But he has built himself up a bit, Justin Charles.
Well, he's going to look for Jerica, who's on the lead. Fraser Gehrig with pace, but Jerica wins out. And kicks the ball out of bounds. So Metropolis, and you see Robbie Walls there for the Tigers. Big year for the Tigers in 1996. Ball too strong that time. So the Eagles up towards Sumich, got his hands to the ball. True gets the ball out towards Dunstan. He's back onto the left boot. But Callaway, strong in defence.
It's a good player, Callaway.
Dependable, durable, tough.
Back one metre. Thank you.
Down to 20 seconds too. Callaway then out of defence. It might be enough for the Tigers to win this. Or can the Eagles muster something? Morrison was dragged down, penalised, and that should just about do it. So the Tigers with the ball on the wing, a courageous performance into a strong breeze. Tape on the wing, wait for the siren as Tape comes down to half forward. And Richmond will advance and play the winner of Adelaide and Fremantle. That was a very entertaining game. The longer it went, the more the tempo increased, and certainly commitment from players of both sides and evidence in that second half. I think the best game we've seen so far. So the final scoreline as Richmond go on in the Coca-Cola Lightning Carnival, they win 6-1 to 4-8.
You were always there on Saturday, give meaning to our lives, and I thank you for 100 years.
Once again, welcome back to Waverley Park. What an enjoyable match. Richmond 6-1 over West Coast 4-8. Wayne Campbell in great form with 16 possessions. As we take a look at the family tree, and you can see that Richmond now will play the winner of this match coming up between Adelaide and Fremantle. So that's the next match.